Hello everybody, I'm Kat with Kat's Semi-Sustainable Life, and I'm going to show you the garden that I have to work with. Well, no garden yet. The land that we do have limitations. We rent, so I can't just tear up everything, and I don't really want to put a ton of infrastructure in because we may stay here or we may not, who knows. Anyway, I'm going to show you our last garden. We have some overhead support still. Okay, so these were here for our last garden. It's been a long time ago. We own a construction company and had little bits and pieces of leftover things, and so made the overhead support. We had another one, but a tree fell on it and crushed it. This was a raised bed, but wood doesn't last as long. So this year we're just going to till this little area between the two beds. We can't really till up the whole yard, nor do we want to, but this one is way more shaded than the other one because of the trees. So I'll probably be planting peas or something on this one. In the middle, yeah, lots of trees to shade out everything. And here in the middle will be some potatoes and maybe some carrots. And then some tomatoes over here on this one. I'll do 2 layers. We did this last time and I got a ton of tomatoes off of this. Also, still walking. Sorry for any bumpiness or earthquake motion. I have my husband just following me like always. Just going towards my tomato cages that I've had a very long time. Yep, so I'm using the baby jar. We made these out of concrete reinforcing wire. Back then a bell was about $100 and it was so expensive to us because, yeah, that was a lot of money at that time. So back then it cost $100 for the bell, and I don't even know what the cost is today. It's probably at least doubled is my guess. What do you think? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? It's probably still high, but if you can focus in, you can kind of see what. There's some risk. And yes, I've had a recent tetanus shot, so I'm safe from tetanus for right now, hopefully. Anyway, these have lasted a really, really long time, and they're taller than the little typical 4-foot one, so the indeterminates can go up, over, and back down again. And I've had some really good results with these. Our plan is to have a couple lines of tilled soil, just a row or two through this area, because it's already shaded here. Probably right here, 2 rows. And what we're going to be doing is in those rows we will put in the tomato cages. My husband thinks 19's enough, but I will show you later how many seeds I have planted. So we'll also probably use some cattle panels and things like that to help support more of them as we come up. Also, something I'm looking at this year that I haven't looked at before is container gardening. So I do pottery, and the pottery I'm making some different planters, things like that. They're not huge because I can't throw that huge, but so I'm working on that. We may or may not get some vertical gardening containers. If we do, that would be awesome too, because that'll increase the amount I can produce. Then in the front yard I'm going to do flowers, herbs, things like that in the flower garden. It has a lot of shade in the front yard, so I really don't know that I can do a lot to put out in the front yard without it looking and being frowned upon by people like our landlords. So we're trying to do this on down low a little bit. He's fine with us gardening, but I don't want to tear up his whole house with stuff whenever we don't own it. Anyway, back here on this corner, back here in this corner where this hill is, this is going to be where the squash, pumpkins, watermelons, whatever, this entire area can be overtaken with vines. So there's a little creek back here that sometimes we get runoff from our street back to the creek, and we have to be mindful of where we put that, because that can, I don't want anything washed away or ruined any of the hard work. So we've lived here a long time, so we kind of know that path that it takes. Really, that's probably it for the front yard. I mean, for the backyard. If it wasn't for all the trees, but then again, I'm thankful for the trees because it blocks out the neighbors next to us. Anyway, we're gonna move on. Really quick, I wanted to show you where some herbs and flowers are gonna go. I have this area right here. It's pretty large. I could probably even sneak in a couple tomatoes, like right up in here and around this corner. I tried to grow lavender there, but it didn't make before. I'm gonna do it again. Okay, and so yeah, sorry for the spin. That's my pottery studio set up. Yep, outside. I can only do it whenever the weather's good, like today, which I'll probably snap onto it in a bit. I have this area over here. Most of this is very shaded. Very shaded in the summertime. I have a couple pear trees that I put out when we first moved here, just because I was like, well, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. And so I'm looking at maybe doing something like a little small something, raised bed of something, or probably about here. See, this center thing is a water, whatever it's called. So it's got where I can put a hose on it, and I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe you can see how the shadow of the tree is already. So maybe about here, a raised bed of some sort. Then this is the rest of the land. Go out and show you my pear trees. I'm not good at holding this camera way out with my arm. I have a shoulder that's kind of weak, still a little bit weak. It's getting a lot better. So unfortunately, this is the way we're just going to have to go with this. So here is pear tree. It's so dark, or so sunlighty, I can't even see where I'm pointing it, so I'm hoping I'm at the right spot. See if I can walk around to where I can see it. Okay, so this one has many different types grafted to one tree. And so 2 years now we've had a few pears. 2 years now. We have missed getting any because the day we were going to go pick them, they're all gone. I don't know if it's squirrels, I don't know what happened, but there's no evidence, and the pears are gone. So I'm hoping this year we'll get a few. They picked the whole thing though. There was a lot. I don't know if these can be read anymore. I have, let's see. That one. Florida home pear. And I think Bartlett. I can't remember what the other one is, but the little taggy's gone for it. And then this one over here, I can't remember what kind it was either. Hopefully it'll start producing this year. We've already got some new growth going on. Little bitty buds happening on the tree. You know it's getting to be spring. Look at that. Little buds. Yay! I have an apple tree over there that has never done well. The problem with the front yard, it's beautiful. It's large. You can see how big for my house. And I'm not even at the end of it. Let me walk over here so you can kind of get a visual as to how much space I have. Walking towards the street. In Snowmageddon, this was totally covered. We couldn't even get out of our little bitty street to get to the main road, which is right down there. Okay, so this is my house that I'm renting. All the cars, we share a driveway with the neighbors. Anyway, so this is how much we have, but it's all, when you look at it, you can see a little bit of ups and downs to the yard. The problem is we have a creek behind us. There's a creek behind me, and underneath this ground, I'm sure if I was to dig a well, I would be supplied forever. We get what we call Lake Atkinson in spring, and then it was frozen in the winter, like the frozen water. It doesn't take a lot to really oversaturate this ground. And if I disappear forever, I'll be in a sinkhole somewhere, probably in the house. But this is like a direct line underground going to the creek, and also, and believe it or not, we're not in a floodplain. So that's a good thing, but we've never had water encroach on our house, except for it got really close one time, but they changed the drainage system when they built the houses over here. It had changed everything, and so this is, I'm just giving you a whole kind of tour. Y'all probably, wow, okay, just so y'all can come up with ideas and help me out too. But you can see down in here, there's now a new drainage system which used to run straight into my yard. And so we aren't bothered by that part anymore. Just the underground water and not being able to absorb anymore once it really starts raining. So I'm kind of limited. It's killed a couple trees that I'd planted out of apple trees. And so the pear trees where they're at is that they've actually done okay. So kind of like more to this side is where I'm looking at for if I put any more trees out. It has to be past this power line though. So, but right now we're just going to make do with what we have as far as trees and things like that, because like I said, we rent, and so I don't know how much longer we're going to be here. If we buy here, I don't know. It's going to all be up to the landlord and good God above as to what goes on. Anyway, so here's this, and if y'all come up with any ideas, then feel free to give suggestions. Definitely, if I put a bed over there, it's going to be a raised bed. It's going to be quite raised, but really over there by that I don't really have a lot of water standing over there. That's the good thing about being here so long, is that I know where the water goes. And really, that's about it. I appreciate y'all watching. Thank you. Hello everybody, I'm Kat with Kat's Semi-Sustainable Life. And I'm going to show you the garden that I have to work with. Well, no garden yet. The land, that we do have limitations. We rent, so I can't just tear up everything, and I don't really want to put a ton of infrastructure in, because we may stay here or we may not, who knows. Anyway, I'm going to show you our last garden. We have some overhead support still. Okay, pause.